We are here and it is 4 o'clock. So I am going to, there we go. I am going to call the meeting to order and welcome everyone, starting with our land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that we gather at Santa Rosa Junior College on the territorial traditional land of the Pomo people in Santa Rosa and the Coast Miwok people in Petaluma, past and present, and honor with gratitude the land itself and the people who have stewarded it throughout the generations. And then just to remind people, the COVID executive order allowing electronic or virtual meetings expired on September 30th, 2021. However, new state law AB 361 adopted by the legislature allows the board to continue to meet by teleconference so long as a declared state of emergency exists, and that as a result of the emergency is determined that meeting in person would represent risks to the health or safety of attendees. And in addition, recommendations for public meetings have been made by the Sonoma County Public Health Officer. To address this, the board, by a majority vote, can take action to meet via teleconference to avoid meeting in person and reduce risks to the health and safety of members of the public. You will see this on our consent agenda today. These actions are solely for the purpose of determining the continuation of Board of Trustees meetings and not for the purpose of lifting the declared state of emergency related to remote instruction and services. And again, thank you for your patience. Our board is committed to the continued education and safety of our students, faculty, staff, and community stakeholders. Public comment will be allowed at appropriate times. Trustees and Dr. Chong will be the panelists beginning the meeting. Chat feature is only for the panelists. Attendees, please wait to speak until you are allowed to by the host. Attendees cannot see other attendees or use the chat function. And trustees, in order to make a comment, please use the raised hand function and then I will call on you. Presenters will be promoted to panelists when it is their turn, much like being called to a lectern at the physical meetings, and then you will return to your seats once you have presented. As always, the board requests that presenters keep all presentations to the following time limits: no more than 3 minutes for public comments, 5 minutes for monthly updates, and 8 minutes for board presentations, employee of the month, and special presentations. And voting at this meeting while we are remote will be by roll call. Thanks. Starting the meeting, there were no reportable actions taken in closed session. Now moving to approval of the minutes for our March 8th meeting. I need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. We'll take the vote to approve the minutes, please.
Trustee Banuelos?
Aye.
Trustee Fishman?
Aye.
Trustee Kundy?
Aye.
Trustee Lindley?
Aye.
Trustee Valdovinos?
Aye.
Trustee Battenfeld?
Aye. Thank you. All right, moving on to our Employee of the Month presentation. It's going to be presented by Mary Catherine Oxford, Dean, Learning Resources and Educational Technology. So welcome, Mary Catherine Oxford. Yep, there you are. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for the welcome. Board President Battenfield, trustees, President Chong, and SRJC community. I have the extreme pleasures of working with libraries and media services. These are two areas that when many of us were working remotely, these staff members leaned in and made sure things were taken care of on site. For libraries, this meant curbside distribution. Our library staff was here to make sure that students had what they needed in some of their greatest times of need. Today, we honor somebody that embodies the spirit of service and dedication. I'm thrilled to present Sarah Lynn Vance as April's Employee of the Month. Sarah Lynn has demonstrated extreme compassion, not only for students, but for her peers as well. She consistently draws on her own life experiences as an SRJC student to inform her planning of services and policy development. I truly admire her dedication and heart. SRJC is very fortunate to have her as part of our library team. To thank her for her service, Sarah Lynn will be receiving a certificate for 2 tickets to the theater production, a gift certificate to the Culinary Cafe, and a $300 Visa card donated by her peers to spend with her partner on one of their many adventures. Sarah Lynn got her start in media services, a fact that the behind the scenes team did not want me to forget today. And to honor Sarah Lynn the best way we know how, Anne O'Toole, a great mentor of hers, created a video to share today. After the video, we will also get an opportunity to hear from Sarah Lynn herself. So please enjoy.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you.
When I first met you in 2015, Sarah Lynn, I knew you were a star. Thank you for your team spirit, and the talents you've shared with us all these years. You're one of my most treasured colleagues at the library and the JC.
Congratulations, Sarah Lynn, a well-deserved honor. You're super easy to work with, and just so happy to have you a part of our team, not just here at the library, but at Santa Rosa Junior College. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Sarah. I've been working here in the library since last year, but you've been always helpful, and then you deserve to be the employee of the month. You got this. Thank you for your hard work.
Congratulations, Sarah Lynn. Thank you for all your hard work with media services, and this award is well deserved.
Congratulations, Sarah Lynn. You're a great supervisor. I learned a lot from you, and I'm looking forward to learn more from you.
Congratulations, Sarah Lynn, and good job, and 恭喜 and 加油.
From that young lady who used to come to the counter to visit her friend at Media Services, and up a few stairs to the library now, proper. Congratulations, Sarah Lynn.
Congratulations, Sarah Lynn. So cool that you're Employee of the Month. Good luck.
Congratulations on Employee of the Month, Sarah Lynn. Well-deserved honor.
Congratulations, Sarah Lynn. You have a special way of creating a sense of family and belonging amongst our student employees at Doyle Library, which in turn creates a welcoming environment for all SRJC students. Thanks for being such a student-focused colleague.
Hi, Sarah Lynn. It's been so nice working with you at 2 different libraries. Count them, 2. And I'm just really happy for you, and really hope you are enjoying everything at Doyle Library there.
Congratulations, Charlene! You're a rock star!
Congratulations.
Like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know.
Wow. Thank you all very much. That video was amazing, and also for your kind words. I really appreciate it. Board President Battenfield, Board of Trustees, Dr. Chong, and the college community. I just wanted to say I'm honored for being recognized as Employee of the Month. It was not expected. I wouldn't be able to achieve this recognition without my wonderful colleagues and my great supportive supervisor, Mary Catherine. It's been an honor not only working for the junior college, but also with my amazing library team, many who encouraged, supported, and pushed me into pursuing my career, and who continue to support my growth here at college. I look forward to continuing to support our students faculty, and community here at the JC for many years to come. Thank you again, everyone. I really appreciate it. I'm honored to receive this award.
Congratulations from the whole board too. Well deserved. And thank you for your work. All right. Moving on now to our public comments. And just to remind folks, there was an opportunity to submit comments electronically or by voicemail. And we have some of those, which I will start with. And then for the meeting, if you wish to participate in public comments, you can either raise your hand and then I'll call on you to speak. You can also use *9 to raise your hand using your phone. Just a reminder to please give your full name. We need them for the minutes when you speak, and keep your comments to no more than 3 minutes. So thank you. I'm going to call on the people who have signed up ahead of time, starting with Josh Adams and Ken Sebastiani.
All right, good afternoon, President Battenfeld, Dr. Chong, college community. I'm Josh Adams, the Dean of the Public Safety Training Center. And today it is my privilege to introduce Ken Sebastiani, who has some excellent news to share. You're on mute.
I wanted to let everybody know, as you can see, it is out of the bag. The Santa Rosa Junior College Fire Program has received the inaugural Ronnie J. Coleman Academy of Excellence Award, which really truly equates to the best academy in the state. So it was a huge thing that we accomplished, and very, very hard work. I just kind of wanted to go through a brief description of what this award means. It's awarded annually to accredited regional training programs like us and other colleges in California. There are 42 ARTPs. We have also 25 ALAs, which are fire department based, San Jose, San Francisco, LA County. So we had a lot of people that we competed against, and we're humbled and lucky to be picked out of that whole group. So State Fire Training seeks to honor an academy that constructively influences its students through leadership while establishing and promoting best practices. The SRJC Fire Academy was recognized for developing supportive training and education processes and programs that improve the caliber and quality of the California Fire Service. This academy will be acknowledged for its ability to collaborate successfully with the vocational education community. These outcomes produce fire service members who step up and consistently demonstrate competence, grit, humility, presence, resilience, self-mastery, self-regulation, trust, vigilance, and wellness. This was all based on 3 different criteria, each weighed at 25%. The first one was constructively influence. This demonstrated the ability to lead that impacts the organization, local partners, and/or the California Fire and Rescue Services. Number 2, best practices. The organization has demonstrated the ability to seek out and adopt or develop best practices. 3, research and development, processes or programs that improve the caliber and quality of California Fire and Rescue Services. And lastly, replicability and collaboration, the ability of other ARTPs or ALAs to implement a similar practice. So again, a great honor, very humbled to receive this. I just wanted to thank everybody that made this possible, including the Board of Trustees, Dr. Chong, Dr. Saldana Tali, Dean Adams, and all the faculty and staff of the Public Safety Training Center. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next is Brad Davis.
President Battenfeld, board members, Dr. Chong, community and fellow career education supporters throughout the years. I'm so thrilled to be able to invite you on behalf of the Celebrate CE committee to this year's Celebrate CE event, which is going to be in person. As many of you know who've been able to attend before, this is almost 3 years since we've had this. We've done 2 of them virtually. This year is going to be at Bailey Field. This is going to be on Friday, May 27th at 5 p.m. And for those of you who have been there before, you know this is an event that's really celebratory in nature. It's fun. We're one of the only, if not the only, community college in the state of California who does this. And for those of you who don't know what this is about, it's to celebrate the folks who have gone through and gotten a career education certificate. And for the longest time, the graduation, it did honor the folks who got their AA or AS. But for the longest time, there wasn't anything that really got a chance to honor the folks that came here for a certificate. And this event does just that. I can tell you in the years past, we've had people come up to us, and I know, fellow board members saw this too, of students who were just so thrilled for the first time. Maybe it was the first time in their family or first time just, in general, that they had a chance to just be recognized for their achievements. So we're, again, thrilled to be honored to offer this year. It's going to be another fun event. And again, it's Friday, May 27th at 5 p.m. And I'll be sending an individual email to the board members officially inviting you. We have some special chairs up front as well. And it's looking to be a great event again. So thank you.
Thank you. All right. Mo Jabari, if I hope I pronounced your name correctly.
Yes, you have. Thank you. Good afternoon, distinguished panel. This is Mohammed Jabari. I'm a long-term resident of Sonoma County since 1982. I am married and I am an engineer by training, and I have 3 children who fortunately have gone through JC system, and now they have moved up to higher education in their career. Sonoma County United in Kindness was formed in March 2019 after attending one too many memorial services for the victims of hate crimes, while noticing in none of these gatherings there is a call to action for people to take action in their communities, respective communities. The vision of Sonoma County is to create a Sonoma County which is united in kindness, and our mission is to promote acts of kindness that advance social justice, embrace diversity, and champion equity with respect for all. This is a lofty goal to achieve, and for that reason, we have gone into the community, and pre-COVID, we have gathered 1,600 signatures, and 50 different organizations, secular and non-secular, have endorsed us. Among many, Human Rights Commissioners of Sonoma County, Sonoma County Board of Supervisors, and 8 out of 9 city councils. They all have issued proclamation in support of Sonoma County and United in Kindness. So as you see, it takes a lot to bring this act about in our communities to make Sonoma County a better place to live for everybody. And we also have reached out to all 40 school districts in Sonoma County, K through 12, and also higher educations. Sonoma State University endorsed us and issued a resolution on March 3rd. And now we are in front of you and distinguished panels that we are asking you to please pass this resolution and inform all the faculty and the students about this resolution, because the young kids, in addition to having excellent education that JC provides, I believe they shall be exposed to acts of kindness in their respective fields. This is not a curriculum. It's just a heart-to-heart, person-to-person. Any interested teachers, instructors can discuss acts of kindness in their classes. So we are honored to be in front of you on behalf of Sonoma County United in Kindness, we thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see, Tim Melvin.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, thank you. I am Tim Melvin, and I'm the chair of the mathematics department at the JC. And I want to read a statement that has unanimous support by the math department and many other departments and employees throughout campus. The California Community College Chancellor's Office is interpreting the bill AB 705 to effectively ban all pre-transfer level math courses from being offered at California community colleges beginning fall 22. And proposed legislation AB 1705 directly bans pre-transfer level math and English courses at all California community colleges. Thus, this fall, the math department of the JC will not be able to offer beginning algebra, intermediate algebra, math for associate's degree, and our preparatory stats class. The mathematics department vehemently opposes the interpretation of AB 705 and the proposed legislation AB 1705, banning pre-transfer level math classes for the following reasons. Access. Our department supports students having the ability to enroll in math courses that fit their educational level. Students require access to pre-transfer math courses that will strengthen their foundational math skills necessary for their enrollment in transfer level courses. Associate degree and career education students. Students pursuing an AS degree or a certificate in the CE program whose goal isn't to transfer will now be required to take a transfer level math course instead of a more appropriate pre-transfer math course. Raises graduation requirement. The ban on pre-transfer math courses raises the community college graduation requirement from a pre-transfer level math course, such as intermediate algebra, to a higher level math course, such as pre-calculus. Doing this puts underprepared students into courses for which they are not prepared, which increases their chance of failing, repeating courses, and possibly dropping out altogether. Underserved students. The ban of pre-transfer math courses significantly impacts students from low socioeconomic households, marginalized communities, underserved students, and communities with large opportunity gaps. Students will no longer have access to an appropriate level math course based on the level of education to succeed in a transfer level math course. Diverse student population. This ban ignores the diverse population attending our community college system. The ban directly impacts these underprepared students, new students, returning students who've been out of school for years, and dual enrollment students. Each of these populations turns to their local community colleges as a resource to learn the foundational pre-transfer level skills in order to succeed in college, the workplace, and society. This ban also violates the California Community College primary admission and all 6 points of Santa Rosa Junior College's mission statement. We encourage you to join Santa Rosa Junior College Math Department and oppose the interpretation of AB 705 and the proposed legislation AB 1705 banning pre-transfer level math courses. Thank you everyone for your time.
Thank you. Let's see, Michael Vonderpoorten.
Good afternoon. I sort of support the idea that we need to have math at all levels to bring people up, not to try to clobber them. And I also want to note that Brad Davis's was talking about career and technical education. I'm a supporter of that. And we should recognize that one of our early CTE leaders in our entire community was Jesse Peter Jr., who brought young women into woodworking shop well before World War II and helped prepare them in a way that helped America. I would like to talk for a moment about the charges that this board sustained against Jesse Peter, Floyd Bailey, and the 1944 SRJC board. And these charges are not that our view has changed, so our recognition should change. These are charges that these people acted badly in their own time. Charge number 1, Peter collected as his hobby for his own pleasure and procurement Native American items. Charge 2, Peter was not an archaeologist. Charge 3, Peter collected without the intent to return the items. And charge 4, Peter did not acknowledge the sacredness of the items. And these charges are that Peter acted wrongly and that Floyd Bailey and the board acted wrongly in assigning credit to Peter by giving him the name of the museum upon his death. And I note we waited until after his death. We didn't do that while he was still living and active with the JC. Let's look at those charges. That he collected his own hobby for his own pleasure and procurement. False charge. There's no evidence that Peter kept things at his home. And there are collectors who collect stuff for their home. Peter turned all his material over to UC Berkeley, to Santa Rosa Junior College, and to exhibits at each of the high school. Charge 2, he was not an archaeologist. This was early in the 20th century. The fields of archaeology and anthropology were being developed. Now, the idea that anyone involved in a museum should be an anthropologist or an archaeologist is really a late 20th century idea, not an early 20th century idea. Charge 3, he collected without the idea of returning the items. Well, there was no one to return the items to. Again, the idea that the Native American community is intact and needs and deserves and should receive items back is a very late item. Late 20th century. Not a fair charge in 1944. Charge 4, Peter did not acknowledge the sacredness of the items. And again, that requires a cultural context that did not exist early in the 20th century. So to change the name to reflect the current standards is a fair statement. Things have changed in 78 years. It could be totally appropriate. But to hide the charges that Peter Jr., Floyd Bailey, and the SRJC board of 1944 acted wrongly is a travesty. Hidden charges don't serve anyone well. Let's move forward with full, truthful discussions. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's see. I believe that we have one other person here who would like to speak. I'm going to call on Carrie, and then we have 2 folks who sent us voicemails that I'll do those. Carrie?
Yes, let's see. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So my name is Carrie Peterson. I attended the Santa Rosa Junior College back in 1992, 1993, got my associate's degree, and then moved on to Sonoma State University. I thoroughly enjoyed my time at the Santa Rosa Junior College, and I also worked there as the noontime entertainment coordinator way back when we were able to book bands for lunchtime. It was a fabulous 19-year-old, 20-year-old year. I enjoyed so many things on campus, and I want the same for my son. My son is now graduating high school and planning on attending the JC in the fall. And while I am generally pro-vaccine, I am anti-COVID vaccine. I'm opposed to continuing the COVID vaccine requirement for students and banishing kids from in-person learning. Many have already been vaccinated, which was supposed to be enough for herd immunity. Many of us have already gotten COVID and therefore don't need a vaccine, and it's discriminatory. And as we all know, people with the vaccine can still contract COVID. So I'm assuming enrollment is down for in-person learning, and I know it takes a lot of time and administration to do tests and to do whatever else that is needed to do because of all of this COVID activity that's been happening the last couple of years. And I just want to end the controversial vaccine requirements to get in-person instruction. So we know it's still an experimental vaccine with numerous side effects that aren't being reported on, with more than 9 pages of side effects. And I recommend that the vaccine be recommended, but not required. And I really want my son to be on campus and the school to just get back to focusing on school and further education. And not excluding students for their medical choices. And I'm just hoping that you'll please consider this adjustment starting with next semester. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Zara, do you want to play the public comments that we received? Thank you. We'll start with whatever the first one is.
Yes, this is Gina, and I'm from Sonoma County, and I oppose any vaccine mandate. Thank you.
Hello there. My name is Sue from Santa Rosa, and I am calling in regards to oppose the vaccine mandate. So please, no forced vaccine mandate. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. All right, so let's see. I see we have one more person with their hand raised for public comment. And then this will be the last public comment. Delisha Carmona Benson.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Delisha Carmona Benson, and right now I am speaking on behalf of our BSU our Black Student Union. I am the president of BSU, and we want to strongly state some items that we are working on. And one of them is our disappointment in the Academic Senate and agreeing to have a student on there of their choice and avoiding the student's voice to add the student to the faculty hiring committees. It's insulting to us and a real slap in our faces. We also are strongly in disagreement in adding the names of the students back on the scholarships. Since the names have been removed from the scholarships, we have, as the Black students have gone up 11% in receiving scholarships just by taking the names off of the scholarships. So we strongly are against putting the names back on. We are also wanting some SRJCs to be transparent and be able to be open to the community to hear, such as the Academic Senate, such as College Council, such as PCC. Those meetings should be recorded and be available for the whole community to go back and read for those who are not able to attend. And we strongly suggest making those meetings mandatory to be recorded. I will say that as myself personally, I have hearing issues and vision issues. And even though I'm a part of some of these meetings, I myself can't keep up with what's going on with the meetings. And it would be a greatness for people with disabilities to be able to go back and be able to read, to hear the recording, stop them, and make sure that we understand. These are committees that are making strong policies for the students, and they need to be heard. You know, we need to hear what's going on, and it needs to be transparent. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that concludes public comment. And now I'm going to move on to our monthly updates, and starting with a Schoen Farm Foundation report. Trustee Cundy.
Thank you. The Schoen Farm Foundation met on Tuesday, March 1st at 3 p.m. on Zoom call. The board welcomed 3 new board members, Fiona Fang, Karen Molly, and Taylor Benham. Winemaker Pat Henderson provided the positive update on the Schoen Farm of the winemaking and bottling of the 2021 vintage. Wine Studies Program Coordinator, Dr. Kevin C. updated the board on the progress towards the opening of the Schoen Farm Tasting Room in the fall of 2022. Students in the tasting room operations class will staff the tasting room and learn the important wine sales and hospitality skills that will prepare them for good jobs in the wine industry. More information on tasting room opening will be available later this summer. The Schoen Farm Foundation is in a strong financial position with $67,000 in equity. The Schoen Farm is always accepting, and I always concur with this, new wine club members for anyone who is interested in the wonderful estate wines at a great price from the Schoen Farm. And I enjoyed many of them all along with a lot of our other fellow people from the school. Anyway, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Cundy. Let's see, a foundation report was listed on the agenda, but there is no foundation report. So I'm going to move on to our college president report with Dr. Chong.
Thank you, President Battenfeld, and good afternoon to all. I'm pleased to report that starting next week on April 18th and 19th, the college will resume in-person services to our college community. I'm looking forward to seeing more people back on campus. As you recall, we are transitioning and taking incremental steps to reopen the college as the COVID numbers come down and it's safe to do so. So we're looking forward to welcoming back classified professionals, faculty, administrators, and of course, students to campus. And then starting in the summer, we're going to expand our in-person services to 4 days a week because we work our 410s from June and July. And then starting in the fall, we'll reopen 5 days a week. And so I'm really, really excited about that. I also want to report that Pedro Avila, my Vice President of Student Services, and I will be traveling to Sacramento next week to testify on behalf of our student housing project. In the background behind me, we'll be requesting $15 million. I'm advocating that that all of the projects that were deemed eligible should be funded. And college presidents from throughout the state met, and we agreed that rather than pit one another against each other, that we all deserve to be funded because we are qualified and there's adequate funding in the state budget. And so I'll be there advocating for that. I also want to report, and I'm pleased to report that you may have read in yesterday's Press Democrat that Santa Rosa Junior College was awarded $6 million to expand our fire academy as well as our fire resiliency program at Schoen Farm. This is really historical. It will provide necessary support and resources so that we can meet the growing needs of the Sonoma County. All of you who have lived in Sonoma County know that fire is one of the greatest threats to our public safety and our communities. And SRJC is proud and poised to use this money. We see it as an investment in the safety of our community and the future workforce. Many of you know that firefighters are retiring in record numbers, similar to teachers. And I'm really proud of Ken Sebastiani and the Firefighter Academy for being awarded the best firefighting program in the state of California. And so where else to better invest that money than in our own academy? So I really want to appreciate the work of Josh Adams, Ken Sebastiani, Benjamin Goldstein, Kate Jolly. We all work together with Jill Ravitch. I want to give special recognition to our the DA, Jill Ravitch, who's retiring, I believe, in June. And this is a great a gift to us from Jill for her work in supporting SRJC. I'm also happy to announce that this year's commencement will be live again. We will be holding it on the Bailey Field outdoors. And I want to appreciate Marcia and Pedro and the commencement committee for all their hard work. It'll be on Saturday, May 28th, commencing, I believe, at 9 a.m. And I'm also thrilled to announce that Mayor Jackie Elward, who's the mayor of Rona Park, has agreed to be our commencement speaker. She is a proud graduate of SRJC, and her daughter will be, I believe, starting at SRJC in the fall. So that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Bond update, Serafin Fernandez.
Good afternoon, President Badenfeld, members of the board, President Chong, and esteemed SRJC community. As you know, the month of April, we bring awareness to our earth, sustainability, and what we can do better to make our planet a better place to live in. So with today's report, I would like to celebrate the work that we have done at SRJC with our contributions to sustainability. So I'm going to introduce you to David Liebman, our sustainability manager, who will give you a quick update as well on our sustainability projects, as well as the great contributions that these projects are already making to SRJC and also to our great Earth. David.
All right, thank you, Serafin. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. Today, I'm going to present on a number of the capital projects that you all approved related to energy and sustainability infrastructure throughout the Santa Rosa Junior College. What we are presenting on right now, the current slide, is our current central plant project. This is a brand new heating and cooling plant that provides highly efficient heating and cooling to a number of buildings, including the brand new CAD pools, as well as the picture on the right-hand side is a new 50,000-gallon tank that captures reclaimed nuisance water from the foundation of Quinn to reuse for irrigation, toilet flushing, and process cooling. It only took a day and a half to fill that tank, and that tank is expected to capture between 6 and 7 million gallons of water a year, which is close to 20% of the Santa Rosa campus's annual water use. The project is finishing up. We're working on getting up the metal siding, and we are currently commissioning the plant's controls to validate that we're heating the pool efficiently, as well as all the buildings that are connected to it. I wanted to give you all an update on the SRJC microgrid project. So as you all know, back in 2017, the Santa Rosa Junior College was awarded about a $5 million grant from the California Energy Commission to build a state-of-the-art, first of its kind, 100% renewable energy microgrid and demonstrate how that could be replicated throughout the state and throughout the nation. We currently have 100% of all of our microgrid assets connected and working. And we've done a number of successful islanding operations where we have separated from PG&E and propped up the entire campus. As we are continuing to do our testing and reconnect this year, we're working with PG&E on developing new processes on how they can test and validate these first of its kind systems and actually help create the paperwork for them. And we're continuing to spread the word, which includes presentations about the microgrid project to UC Berkeley's Capital Projects and Sustainability Department, as well as presenting this summer at the American Council on Energy Efficient Economies about resiliency and microgrids and wildfire related outages. So we got a quick video for you all to showcase the video. In the far part of the video image, you'll see there's a lamp and a light, and that represents the grid side. So that represents that we are connected to the utility. And then you all will see what happens when we open our main breaker.
Auto transfer test.
So anticlimactic. So let me break that down for everyone.
Main breaker's open.
The good news is nothing happened. And that was the goal. So what just happened was that in under 30 milliseconds, we were able to separate from PG&E faster than the human eye could see a blinking light, and prop up the entire Santa Rosa campus, all 22 buildings, without any computers turning off. This is the first successful achievement of what we're calling blinkless transition, and proving that the smart grid of the future with renewable energy systems such as batteries and solar can work. So that was very exciting, but also very anticlimactic because nothing happens, which was the goal. And so currently the next steps as part of our testing is working on a seamless reconnection with PG&E, and then verify that we can successfully separate from the utility and reconnect and collect a year's worth of measurement and verification. So ADR programming, as part of the microgrid project, as well as COVID related funds, we have been upgrading all of our building systems with special programming. This programming allows us to turn off building systems when we need to reduce our energy consumption if we were islanded away from the utility. It also allows facilities operations to remotely close all the outside air intakes in case of a fire, so we can remotely prevent any and all smoke from going into our buildings. It's unfortunate that we have to do that, but we are planning ahead. And we have developed a COVID mode, which allows us to maximize fresh outside air in all of our buildings and pre and post purge the air before occupancy. We wanted to share with you all some data related to the new submeters we've been able to install around the Santa Rosa Junior College and specifically the Santa Rosa campus. So again, thanks to the funding from Measure H, as part of the energy and sustainability projects, we had installed various electrical submeters at all of our buildings. And we can finally strategically look at the annual consumption of all of our buildings on the Santa Rosa campus and actually validate that one, all the energy efficiency projects we've been doing are having an impact, but then also strategically plan on which buildings we should focus on for both an operations and maintenance perspective, but then also future capital projects to help reduce the utility cost and our greenhouse gas emissions. Next, we are using these sub-meters to actually validate that our buildings are meeting our energy standards. So I was very excited about this graph here. In Kundi Hall, which is one of our new buildings, right, that meets our new energy standards in our facilities master plan. After about, a year, 2 years worth of operation, we were actually able to validate that the building has been operating at the exact energy target that it was designed for. And so this allows us to verify that not only are our architects and engineers meeting our design standards, we also get confirmation that for the investment, the community and the time the college has put in will last the life of the building. And we can continually track this now year after year to validate the performance of the building and make sure it meets its design standards. And lastly, besides energy, water is a very big topic right now in Sonoma County. We are also applying these sub-meters to our water systems. We've been able to identify significant leaks in our 8-inch main water lines throughout the campus because we now have this sub-meter data, and that is allowing us to move forward with projects that can isolate where those leaks are, use a leak detector to identify where exactly those leaks are and repair them. And we expect that we can save between 1.5 and 2 million gallons of water a year at the Santa Rosa campus, which is almost 10% of our annual water use, just through the use of sub-meters and leak detection program. And lastly, somewhat related to capital projects, but a little off, we want to invite the board and the community and SRJC staff, students and faculty to join us on April 22nd from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. for the Elliott Avenue Street Mural. This is a great collaboration being led by Genevieve Perdone at Student Life and Alexa Forrester, philosophy faculty, as well as Andreas, the SGA VP of Sustainability. It's planned to be a great community event and a good day of healing after our 2 years of isolation. And so please, if you have time, come out and join us as we paint the street and we really work on creating reliable prosperity and sustainable prosperity for our community.
Thank you, David. And for the board, we have 6 items for you to approve today. Just real quickly, change order number 4 for the Garcia Hall alterations project at approximately $25,000. This is to address, again, several minor items that DSA brought up for us to upgrade. This will bring our change orders for the project to a total of 8.89%. As part of those changes that DSA required, we are also making amendment number 5 to the architect, SFA, at $7,300. For the Busman Phase 3 project, this is the IT department area. DSA also required some changes to the plans. And so the architect is adding amendment number 1 to complete that work at $2,800. Shown Farm Modular Greenhouse, we have change order number 2. This is basically a change in material costs. One is actually a credit. So we had some grow lights that were cheaper than originally quoted, and then some material buildings that were increased in cost for a total increase of $1,200. This brings our total change orders to 2.57%. At Towser Gymnasium, we are asking you to approve the award of contract for the testing assistance to the Ileski Family Construction. This is a requirement by DSA. A test of the structural members of the building that will contribute to the final design of the seismic upgrades. And then lastly, we have change order number 1 for the new foundation office building to Rousfeld Construction. And this is simply fiber optic cable installation to connect this new building to the next neighbor next door, 705 Elliott. We had previously installed the conduit as part of the fiber ring project, but because we didn't have the design complete, the fiber was not included as part of the design. And that completes our report. Does you have any questions?
Dot, you're on the mute.
Sorry. Can you hear me? I've just lost my screen. There we go. All right, thank you. Next, we have our monthly site update, and this month it is Schoen Farm with Dean Goldstein.
Wonderful. Thank you, President Battenfeld, members of the board, college community, Dr. Chong. It's my pleasure to be here tonight and provide the site update for Schoen Farm. So just a quick reminder, what we do at the farm, it's a lot. So it's the Learning Laboratory for the Agriculture and Natural Resources Department, and it's been the Learning Laboratory since its founding in 1972. So we have 8 career education programs housed at Schoen Farm currently, doing classroom instruction and field-based labs. We offer student employment, internships, work experience, all paid. We offer student enterprise projects, which is a chance for students to take an agricultural commodity from seed to sale. And we provide equipment, mentorship, support, but the students learn entrepreneurship, learn about how to do a balance sheet, and bring that product to market. We host a ton of community seminars and events, Rotary crab feeds, large fundraising events for the district, and forthcoming, beginning in the fall of this year, we will have the Ag and Natural Resources faculty and staff offices moving to Schoen in the new modular classroom complex that we're constructing there. So 360-acre site. This is a significant parcel. We have 120 acres of secondary forest. That's adjoining Riverfront Regional Park. We have 96 acres of vineyards. Those are commercial vineyards farmed by a vineyard manager, and we use the proceeds from those vineyards to help fund the overhead of Schoen Farm. 90 acres of pasture, 15 acres of now California certified organic orchards and fields and gardens. So all produce coming off the farm now is CCOF certified organic, and 40 acres or so of roads, buildings, and improvements. This is just a snapshot to see the diversity of facilities that we maintain at the farm. There is now a second greenhouse going up. I'd like to note for the record that we were probably one of the first projects to bring a credit back to on Seraphine's board report. That was nice to see a grow light credit, bringing our balance sheet down, but a second greenhouse, farm offices, a new produce facility funded by Measure H. There is just a lot going on, and it's a really exciting time. I wanted to just provide this image because to me it's so evocative and indicative of what we offer. First of all, just the picturesque beauty of Schoen, but the immaculate condition that the farm is maintained in is a testament to the staff that work there, and primarily our classified professionals. You know, they're there day in, day out, 40 hours, maintaining gardens, maintaining the grounds, helping student employees under the direction of Schoen Farm manager Connor Murphy. But I really want to give a shout out to the classified professionals because it's because of them that this place looks and operates so effectively. And I would be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to Donald Laird, our drone photographer extraordinaire. That is a glorious shot that he went up and took of Shone. So tonight I want to focus on the Wildfire Resilience Program because it's a very exciting moment for this new program. There you'll see some very happy pyromaniacs, otherwise known as our natural resource students. And if there's one thing you take away from my presentation today, it's to realize that this program has touched and taken and has benefited from the contributions of every single area of this college campus, from the board to accounting and payroll, career education, human resources. It literally took the entire village to build this program. And I'm just so proud of the way SRJC has come together to respond to a really critical need in our community with a workforce development program and community engagement. So what is the Wildfire Resilience Program? So at the high level, it's a new wildfire focus within 3 existing career education programs: animal science, natural resources, and our environmental horticulture programs. We also offer to students in those programs paid hands-on learning at Shone Farm. Those were some of the folks you saw in the picture with the chainsaws and the burn piles. And we launched this in summer of last year, and we've already had 25 students go through the paid work experience components. Been tremendously successful. We have 2 new initiatives in development. One is a collaboration between my department, Ag and Natural Resources, and Robert Holcomb and Marlene Garcia in non-credit adult education. This is a bilingual program in fire resilient landscaping for the existing landscaper workforce in Sonoma County, which is primarily Latinx. And we're working on a policy angle as well to make this credential, this non-credit certificate, recognized by the county and the cities that are launching all of these incentive programs for homeowners and property owners to do structural hardening in defensible space. So there's a policy angle, there's a community engagement angle, and this is going to be kind of anchored at our Southwest Center, but we are going to be able to offer this program on the road in Petaluma, in Cloverdale, in Healdsburg, in Geyserville. We'll have a work truck and we will travel. We are also at the very preliminary stages of a contract education program. This was mentioned in the press release from the district attorney's office. This is a program that was developed by Butte College in the aftermath of the Paradise Fire. And it's a 40-hour and a 200-hour program. There's 2 components to train existing PG&E employees or existing utility contractors in arboriculture skills. So line clearance arborist and vegetation management inspector. So that's why it's contract ed, because we're working with existing employers. We will be providing the training, and those employees then go on to earn $35 an hour, oftentimes a union job. It's a really, really excellent program. So we're at the very initial stages there. I want to mention the breadth of collaborations that we have established around the Wildfire Resilience Program is really impressive. This is a testament to the faculty in these programs and their relationships with our industry and community partners, as well as Connor Murphy, the farm manager. So a couple gratuitous images. There's something about chainsaws and something about lighting things on fire that make students smile. I went through about 40 photos for this presentation, and I couldn't find a single unhappy face. These students are earning good salary, paid employment, and gaining really valuable skills that they can use in their future careers. And they're clearly having a lot of fun doing it. We are repopulating the livestock at Shone Farm. These are not our animals yet. This was a contract grazer, a former student of SRJC that came on, but this is to demonstrate prescribed grazing as an effective wildfire fuel mitigation technique. So goats and sheep, you can see the difference. The land that they've grazed is cleared of a lot of flammable brush, whereas the land behind them is still overgrown and very dense and very risky and from a fire perspective. These are 3 new residents, however, of Schoen Farm, 3 cattle that we just purchased from UC Davis and Chico State. They're bred cattle, so they will be calving in the fall. And we might have to recruit Terry Lindley to come pull some calves later on this season, which I know he would be happy to do. But we're really, really grateful for funding from the Wildfire Resilience Program has helped us repopulate the livestock program, hire 100% full-time science lab instructional assistant to anchor that program, and make some improvements to the barn as well. And then environmental horticulture, fire resilient landscaping. This is anchored by faculty member Joel Grogan, phenomenal program. And we're teaching students about drought tolerant, fire resilient landscaping. So the big news, as you saw in the Press Democrat yesterday, was that SRJC was named a beneficiary of the settlement with PG&E over the damages from the Kincaid fire. These are criminal and civil damages. And there was $6 million allocated to invest in our fire technologies program that Ken Sebastiani and Dean Josh Adams just spoke about, and the wildfire resilience program anchored at Schoen Farm. So I'll just conclude by saying we are really honored, we are really grateful, but we are also ready to step up. The community is counting on us right now as a community college, as a workforce training institution in this county, to train the next generation of firefighters, grazers, arborists, and natural resource technicians to help protect Sonoma County from catastrophic wildfire. And I just feel so fortunate that we have this amazing team, that we have that village that I showed you with everybody from HR to accounting to the board of trustees involved, and we're going to come through for the community. So more to come. Happy to answer any questions. And thank you for this time. Trustee Cundy.
Hey, Benjamin, just an incredible presentation. It's very exciting to see all the changes and that whole program that you brought to the JC a couple of years ago, the fire, to see it come to fruition and the impact that it's having. Just a great job. Congrats.
Thank you, Trustee Cundy.
Anybody else? All right, thanks. Now on to our student trustee report. Trustee Elizabeth Cole. Are you here, Elizabeth? I thought I saw her earlier. Oh, there you are.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
just give me 1 second. I'm getting ready to put together right now.
Is this your kid?
Okay, hi everyone. Thank you so much for your time today. Sorry, this week has been pretty busy with the students. I just want to say thank you everyone for your time. Thank you everyone for your time. I have a couple notes to go over. As you know, some students do feel like their rights are not being met. They are starting a demand for 9+1 rights. They are going to be having a rally protest sit-in on April 28th. There will be speakers as well, definitely including the BSU, Our House, the Second Chance Recovery students, as well as the DRD. They are hoping for the support of the trustee, which is myself, the staff, the board members, the community, and the administration, in trying to find a common ground for what they believe they are not getting in the school when it comes to adequate adequate attention to their rights. Some of the things that include that are all gender bathrooms, full on-time coordinator for the Queer Resource Center, full transcripts of all meetings, including the Student Academic Senate. Yeah, so that's my report. I am, as the student trustee, I want to make sure that I am coming from a non-biased position. I agree with the students who believe that their rights are being violated, and I also am listening to the students that want to understand more and understand exactly what's going on and come to a position to where everyone agrees, which is very, very hard, coming from the fact that we have students from different backgrounds, different genres. But I do want to say this, taking myself away from the student trustee position, being a second chance student, being a DRD student, being part of the BSU, being a considered minority student, there are needs that I believe that need to be focused on. And I would like to bring that to the board in the most respectful manner. And I really appreciate your time and support in working with the students, since I am the student trustee, and being the common bridge and finding a common ground between the board, the faculty, and the students. And I would really like to meet with all of the board members, and I encourage you to come to the SGA meeting on Monday next week. SGA is officially inviting you to the board meeting, the SGA meeting, which is 3 to 5 next Monday. All the students will have reports to give, and I really encourage you to listen to the students and to just hear where the students are coming from all different aspects of the community. And that's my report. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. All right. Do we have any board member comments or updates? All right. I don't see anyone. So, all right, we'll move on to reports then. Academic Senate, Julie Thompson.
Board President Battenfeld, trustees, President Chong, and members of the college community. I would first like to report on the spring 2022 plenary for the Academic Senate for California Community Colleges, also referred to as ASCCC. President-elect Nancy Persons, Senator Byron Reeves, and I attended plenary last Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Plenary starts with 2 days of professional learning opportunities. This semester is professional development in the form of keynote addresses and breakout sessions focused on equity and academic freedom. The final day of plenary is devoted to debate and voting on a packet of resolutions, which is the method that ASCCC uses to determine its positions, direct its executive committee, and make recommendations to the Board of Governors on 10+1 matters. Each college has one vote in this process. The body considered approximately 40 resolutions on subjects including the addition of anti-racism to the ASCCC vision statement, diversity, equity, and inclusion in curriculum, zero textbook cost courses, the new disciplines of Asian American Studies and Native American Indian Studies, both of which were adopted by acclamation, which was very exciting. Mental health resources, student financial aid, academic freedom, students' right to choose pre-transfer level math and English courses, public access to the Chancellor's Office's Vision Resource Center materials, new transfer model curriculum for women and gender studies, accessibility, rising scholars programs, online learning integrity, open educational resources, and more. The Senate appreciates the financial support provided by the district, which makes our attendance at plenary possible. As the partial list of resolutions makes clear, ASCCC addresses numerous complex and important issues that have profound implications for our system, our college, our students, and our community. The learning curve for these issues is steep, and it is critical that the college continue to invest and, as possible, expand investment in our attendance at plenary and other ASCCC professional development institutes so that we can bring the learning back to our college and put it to work on behalf of our programs and students. Next, I'd like to address progress that the Senate is making on the faculty hiring policy procedure. At its March 16th meeting, the Senate furthered language describing student participation in the faculty hiring process. At a prior meeting, the Senate had voted to approve the requirement that all faculty hiring include student participation. Subsequent meetings were engaged with the question of a more specific provision, and we've reached language that now includes a number of options for student participation that will include, but not be limited to, attending teaching or skills demonstrations and serving as members of screening and interviewing committees. Also, hiring committees must ensure that the consideration given to student participation is equivalent to the consideration of any other member of a hiring committee. I would like to express my appreciation to the members of the Senate for their hard work on this language. Reaching agreement among 26 faculty members who represent a wide diversity of disciplines and perspectives is often challenging, and this section of the procedure was especially so. However, the Senate persevered, stayed late at its March 16th meeting, and after voting down a succession of amendments, crafted a motion that the Senate was able to support unanimously. I would also like to thank our students, members of the Student Government Assembly, and the SGA president for their advocacy. While the language that the Academic Senate supported allows for rather than requires the student participation that SGA advocated for, I would like to affirm that the students' advocacy mattered and continues to matter, that the Senate listened to and heard the students, and that the final language described above is influenced and informed by the students' perspectives. Finally, I would like to state, as I have before, that the Academic Senate is a democratic representative body. Members of the Academic Senate are responsible to those they represent and are also responsible for exercising their professional judgment. In my role as the Academic Senate President, I stress my unconditional support for all members of the Senate to participate, discuss, debate, and vote in accordance with their consciences. We may not always agree with each other, and members of our community may not always be pleased with Senate decisions, but my Senate colleagues are working hard and in good faith to contribute to solutions, and none of them deserves to be publicly maligned. Maligning statements and threats against elected representatives who are doing their best on behalf of their constituents have a chilling effect on democratic processes, and it is my belief that keeping the flame of democratic debate and decision-making alive in small bodies like our Academic Senate helps to keep democracy alive in the broader society. I am proud of the work of the Senate, and I appreciate the words of support that have come our way from the college community. Thank you, as always, for this opportunity to address the board and community. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next report is the Classified Senate with Debbie Weatherly.
Good afternoon, President Battenfield, Board of Trustees, Dr. Chong, and our colleagues. First, I'd like to congratulate Sarah Lynn Vance as Employee of the Month. How wonderful for her to achieve this recognition in such a short time. This speaks well to her abilities, and she truly shines for all classified professionals. This week, College Council held 2 5-hour retreats last week on Zoom to continue the collaboration on our governance systems redesign. We are slowly making progress and hope for a more streamlined process and no redundancy, along with clarification of our roles. We also spent the week previewing enterprise resource planning, our student service systems that are being considered for the replacing of our own student information system. We will be continuing that work this week. We are addressing the policy 4.3.10 that currently exists. As written, the policy excludes the classified Senate from a seat for the hiring of managers and VPs. This policy has not been reviewed for many years. It is time to bring this policy up to date to be more inclusive of all constituent group involvement. We are planning a luncheon celebration for Classified Appreciation Week. We feel it is time to come together in a safe environment to enjoy everyone's company. All are invited, but must sign up in advance to make the payment of $15, which helps to cover the cost of food. And we'd like to reach out to the board to give them a special invitation to come for that. The date will be April 21st from 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock. We will also be having a silent auction for fundraising at that time. If you have any donations, please contact Linda J. And I wanted to give a special shout out to the department managers that have actually called and offered to pay for their whole department to come to that luncheon. So kudos to them. We are also planning our Years of Service award pins for classified professionals longevity celebration. The date for this event will be May 25th, and that will be a barbecue. And that actually concludes my report. So thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, next report is from the Student Government Assembly with Dilashay Carmona Benson.
Thank you, President Battenfield, Board of Trustees, Dr. Chung, the community. I apologize for not using my camera. I do not have the best of reception. At SGA, I want to say that we are so happy to hear about the purchase of the Southwest area school. We look forward to working with Hector and Seraphin to make this school suitable for all students who will attend the campus. Also, with SGA, we're wanting the coordinator of student government program to become full-time. We have brought this to everyone's attention, and it has been said, yes, we're going to do it, but it's time for action. We need that put in black and white. That position right now is currently held by Zach Miranda. It is a position that SGA needs. And that will not just be talk, but put into black and white immediately. The next thing that SGA was working on is getting over the decisions of the Academic Senate, where they put our voting rights in poor taste. What they have done is putting students voting in a pretty package. They put a pretty little bow on it, covering the agenda behind it. In no way would the Academic Senate agree for a student to pick the faculty member that would be on a faculty hiring committee. They would never allow that. Why they feel that students are not capable of choosing students to be on faculty hiring committees are insulting. And what they do is not only do they get to choose the student that represents the students, but they're going to bring them to SGA for us to pay for them. We say, if you're going to pick them, maybe you should pay for it as well. But that's not the road we want to travel. We love our students and we look forward to paying them. But there is a process of being trained. Our students aren't just put on a faculty or hiring committee or any hiring committee. We are trained and certified to be on there. We also are very cautious as to who the faculty member will choose. And is that student really going to be representative of all? We don't even get to know this student. We just have to take it, as so many things that happens at SRJC. We're totally against that. We deserve the right to choose the student to be on the student hiring committee, as the faculty should choose the faculty member to be on the faculty hiring committee. With that, SGA has also passed our date for April 28th at 3 o'clock. We will be having a protest. The protest will also be a rally, followed hopefully by a sit-in. We are tired. I don't know anywhere else to say it or any other way to say it. We are fatigued. The students here have been pacified for too long, and we just refuse to be silenced anymore. We want to be treated as humans, not just as students. We want to sit at the table and eat, not just sit there and watch everyone eat for us. We must matter. And we don't matter if we're not counted. If we're disregarded in every angle. I, as president, have fought and fought and fought and has been the voice of these students. I have sat in meeting with students, watching them feel so disappointed and treated as if we are disregard. It's time for systemic changes, and the time is now. I hope that you guys will be there to support the students. It's time to have a college that is student ready and that is student focused. I want to thank our officers for the hard work that they put in. I know a lot of you guys think that we just meet from Mondays 3 to 5, but no, we have office hours. We have to be on committees. My days start at 8 o'clock in the morning and finish usually around 8 o'clock at night. We work very hard, and it's definitely not for the pay. We want to thank Sarah Wiley and Sandy Segal for always being there and supporting our students, as well as Pedro and Robert and Genevieve, the incredible STAR team that helps our students and support our students. I want to send a shout out to the classified personnel because really you guys are so incredible, so incredible. If anyone knows our students, it will be the classified personnel. And definitely, as I end every meeting, is Zach Miranda. Zach Miranda is the rock of SGA. Again, his position needs to get put in writing and his position needs to get full-time position. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, AFA with Sean Martin.
President Battenfeld, trustees, President Chong, colleagues, and other members of the community. As we meet here today, department chairs and supervising administrators are busy finalizing the second proof of the fall schedule. Faculty members across the district feel a mixed sense of excitement and trepidation as we further expand in-person instruction and services in the wake of the pandemic. Throughout the scheduling process, departments have relied on the stability and safety provided by the vaccine mandate. If trends from previous pandemics are prescient, we should expect seasonal outbreaks of the virus to continue. Most expert assessments anticipate new strains of the virus to emerge in the next few years, but they also expect infection, serious illness, and hospitalizations to be reduced in large part due to the effectiveness of vaccines. AFA recognizes and supports measured adjustments to masking, distancing, and other protocols as evidence and guidelines from the health officials allow. But it's AFA's view that the vaccine mandate has been and will continue to be a critical element of this transition to normalcy. The vaccine mandate provides a foundation on which the relaxation of other protocols is made possible. Thus, AFA wishes to assert our strong support for the indefinite continuation of the vaccine mandate. Next, and forgive me for recounting here many of the points previously made by the department chair of our math program. Like our math colleagues, AFA urges our trustees and administration to join us in opposing the passage of AB 1705. As you know, AB 705, which was passed into law in 2017, was promoted as a bill that would liberate students from an antiquated and unfair placement system that forced them into remedial math and English pathways and unreasonably delayed student achievement. AFA agrees with this element of AB 705, namely that the prior placement methods needed revision. The selling point of the bill was that it empowered students with the choice to self-select into transfer level courses while retaining pre-transfer options that some students would surely need. But AB 705 also granted the Board of Governors the authority to develop Title V regulations to facilitate the implementation of this bill. And colleges across the state recently received a memo from the Chancellor's office detailing the impact of these ill-conceived regulations, which totally disregarded faculty input and essentially preclude SRJC from offering any pre-transfer courses. Though the memo doesn't explicitly ban courses, the requirements for offering them are such that districts are caught in a paradoxical dilemma where the data required to justify offering them presupposes that the classes are already being offered. That is, these regulations effectively prohibit offering courses that many of our most vulnerable students need to pursue their dreams of a college education. AB 1705 seeks to establish these regulations as law, which would have the ironic impact of depriving students of any choice in their math and English placement. Students are now thrown into a condition of sink or swim, while dedicated faculty are scrambling to help them catch up, often for years of lost preparation. We've heard numerous accounts from students and faculty members as to the significant harm this causes our students. An array of studies show that our student body is increasingly ill-prepared to engage in post-secondary education. Average skills in reading and writing and mathematics are all well below what is necessary to effectively participate in college-level courses. This has only been exacerbated by the conditions of the pandemic, where many students are now entering our system having endured years of online instruction of varying quality. And though our students, along with math and English instructors, are most immediately impacted by these regulatory impositions, ultimately all students and faculty have had their work lives dramatically altered, as basic competence in math and English are fundamental to nearly every subject we offer. The faculty at SRJC is deeply committed to our mission and students. Our first inclination is always to do whatever it takes to support them. Our view is that genuine equity demands we provide whatever is needed to ensure students at SRJC receive an education that's comparable to whatever they would receive at any of the elite transfer institutions we serve. But AB 1705 stands to jeopardize that effort, as the personal attention and workload implied by such an effort is simply unsustainable. This hurts all students, as the pace and depth of instruction is necessarily compromised in the process. It's simply not possible for faculty and students to compensate for years of lost educational opportunity while also sustaining current class sizes and without dramatic increase in academic support programs. Please speak out now in opposition to AB 1705. And as you've become used to me hearing, used to hearing me say, union work is equity work, and faculty working conditions are student learning conditions. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you. SEIU, Sandy Segala.
Good afternoon, Board of President Battenfield and Board of Trustees, Dr. Chong, students, colleagues, and community. Thank you for your attention today. SEIU would also like to congratulate Sarah Lynn Vance for your Employee of the Month. And I also would like to thank Delashay for her SGA's recognition to me and our classified professionals. Thank you, Delashay. So the Classified Review Committee, or the CRC, it actually, it includes 3 district managers and 3 classified professionals. The reviewed study for the classified job descriptions has not occurred for about 20 years. Therefore, it was agreed that both SEIU and the district negotiation team be included in this process to work with the committee. The review committee has continuously been meeting at least twice a week to review around 200 job descriptions. Currently, about 80 job descriptions have been reviewed, and each are very unique and detailed of each of the job descriptions. It takes a lot of time to process, as the committee is being very thorough in the reviewing of updates to these job descriptions before it is then sent back to the classified for their review of the CRC's recommendations. A second draft of about 6 job descriptions have been resent after the CRC reviewed classified updates. There will be an opportunity for appeals if there is a disagreement for individual job descriptions to the CRC in this process. There remains several of the initial job descriptions still yet to be reviewed. And again, we just continue to request patience, as this is definitely a lengthy process and extensive work being put into this project, as I've mentioned already. SEIU has addressed concerns at several district committee leadership meetings in regards to SRJC's plan for a safe return to campus document, which was sent out last fall. In an effort to transition back to campus, SEIU has asked for clarification to this document, as our classified professionals have addressed concerns of clarity. It is understood that all offices are to be open Tuesday and Wednesdays for the remainder of the spring semester. However, SEIU is asking for clarification to how this return will affect the classified professionals' understanding to the return work schedules for classified. This issue needs to be addressed before the end of this week, if not sooner, as the district offices will be open both Tuesday and Wednesdays beginning next week, Monday, April 18th, through the remainder of this spring semester. SEIU has worked with the district negotiation team on a working document for the clarification to these concerns, and we are now waiting for this document to be sent out to our classified by the end of this week, if not hopefully sooner. We also have been working on the telecommuting document in negotiations and have yet to finalize this document. We had hoped that this document would have been finalized before April 18th. However, it is still in the works. SEIU's Executive Board of Directors had election to the 45 positions of leadership for the Northern California region last month. These positions are a 3-year term. 3 Sonoma County employees were elected. One was from the Sonoma County administration. I was elected 2nd term as a Sonoma County Area B representative. And the 3rd person for Santa Rosa JC for a 2nd term is Mary Sandberg as the Vice President of the SEIU Board of Directors. Also, as an update, SEIU continues a negotiation for the SEIU contract with the district, which has just started in the last few months. SEIU has been a participant to the College Council Shared Governance System redesign of factors, considerations, and principles to ensure that the college meets its mission. The council just completed a 2-day retreat, which you heard from Debbie Weatherly last week, to prepare for the process moving forward to clarify each committee's or council's role and the relationship to charges to the board as defined by board policy. Thank you for allowing me time on your busy agenda, and this concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. Management Liaison Team with Sarah Lagos.
Good evening, President Battenfeld, members of the board, Dr. Chong, and college community. We want to celebrate our classified colleagues this month during Classified Recognition Week. The work of classified employees matters every day to the success of our college. It can seem like their roles are too easily overlooked and too often undervalued. But whether they are behind the scenes or on the front lines, we see you and we appreciate you. While the interaction of students with faculty is an essential part of the educational process, it really does take a community of people to make learning possible. A core part of that community is the team of classified employees who work in and around the classroom to enhance learning, student services, classroom environments, and more. Their work is equally essential for our students to get the education they need, and their voice and participation in our college is valued and appreciated. Thank you, classified colleagues. Like most members of the college community, next week's spring reopening for in-person services 2 days per week has been the focus for most of management team's energy. While the implementation and impacts of returning may cause uncertainty, this is actually nothing new to us. SRJC has done hard, uncertain things before. We have managed and led through devastating wildfires, public safety shutoffs, floods, more wildfires, unhealthy smoke and air quality, racial and social unrest and reckoning, and more in just the last 5 years. We have been living and working through uncertainty for a long period of time. And while fatigue is certainly setting in, this is simply the next phase to navigate. We won't have all the answers for returning, and every decision won't be correct. But like those previous periods, we'll find our way together. We are firmly centered and ready to serve students. We are lucky enough, though, to have a steady and focused team led by Kate Jolly to help us navigate that next phase. I'm not quite sure how she bears the weight of the world on her shoulders, but her attention to detail, willingness to consider all options, and openness to new ways of doing things, and her unbelievable ability to carry a workload that would make most humans cry regularly is awe-inspiring. And while we shift into this new phase, there's still plenty of normal everyday work that's being accomplished. Kevin Snyder, Q McQuaig, and Mary Catherine Oxford are managing the next cycle for requesting bond-funded technology equipment by the Institutional Technology Group and the instructional equipment and library materials needs. These requests are important processes that identify the resources, technology, and content vital to student learning across disciplines and curriculum. It's a lot of information to gather, assess, analyze, and provide recommendations on. And Kevin, Mary Catherine, and Q are ensuring the college stays relevant with the best equipment and materials possible. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that concludes our reports. Thank you to all who reported. And now we'll move on to C, information items. And first information item is we have a report on the Integrated Student Success Committee with Mr. Byron Reeves and Dr. Matthew Long. Welcome.
Good afternoon, President Battenfield, Board of Trustees, Dr. Trong, and campus community. My name is Byron Reeves, and I am joined by Matthew Long, and we are the co-chairs of the Integrated Student Success Committee. And we are the co-chairs, and as the co-chairs, we have an amazing presentation about the work this committee has done over the last year.
Thanks. We first want to tell you a little bit about the resources available through the ISSC website, issc.santarosa.edu. It's an amazing resource. We hope that you would be able to spend a little time on it and look up all of the great work we've been doing over the years, and in particular, the wonderful resource of data that we have around our students and their success. Lots of metrics to look at and incredible infographic reports that describe how our students are doing.
So we are here to present about the action team work that this committee has completed over the last year. But before we get started about the work they've done over the last year, we kind of want to go back to a few years ago. Our work and our pillars came from this research done by the RP group. They interviewed 10,000 students, and what they came up with were these kind of guiding principles on how to support students. We took that, and in Santa Rosa fashion, we made it our own. And so at the first year, we looked to welcome and guide and engage students. And we looked at our services through that lens. But the second year, we took a deeper dive, and we started to look at the student life cycle. And we started to understand that our students are experiencing different things at different points of their life cycle here at the JC. And so we developed a deeper and a more thoughtful way of thinking about our student experience, to inviting and welcome, to guided and supported, to engage and empowered. And through that, this action team work came alive, and we started to think about first year achievements and persistence and milestones. And we wanted to take a deeper look as a committee to really look at what we can do to support the students and be student centered in all the work and services that we provide to students.
So just a little bit about how this inquiry-based design works in this committee. We start looking at a particular topic or topics in this case, and we go through a process of questioning and generating hypotheses about these areas that we're going to explore. We then do this exploration within the committee, sometimes maybe even set up some experimentation or interpret data that we already have. And through those, we come up with some conclusions about what's happening with our students, and finally some recommendations on how we might change policies, practices, etc. And we communicate those to the community, such as we're doing today. So that's a bit of how it works.
Yeah, so our action teams were broken up into three teams: part-time students, areas to participation, and students in remote instruction. And just a little bit about each. Part-time students comprise of almost 75% of SRJC students. Before, we didn't really have that lens. We probably didn't even know that number as a committee. And we thought that was important to look at. And while full-time students do not show disproportionate impact, part-time students do. And so we just wanted to answer the question, how do we make college ready, the college ready for part-time student success? With barriers to participation, students who participate in C programs show significant gains in persistence and other outcome measures. So the question we started to think about there is, how can we engage all students to be involved in activities that eliminate disproportionate impact? And finally, just looking at students in remote instruction, as you know, with COVID-19 and the pandemic, we had to start to look at how can students be successful in remote instruction, right? And we just wanted to research the differences and what change happened with students within that.
Those are kind of the broad strokes that we started with. You know, in part-time students, as Byron mentioned, we were clear through the data that they had lower persistence and retention rates than other students, which led to an underachievement of their goals, their educational goals. When we got into this topic was huge, and when the team, each team got into these areas, you know, they really felt they needed to focus in. And in this case, the inquiry was around the utilization of counseling. One service is an example, a primary service that students use to reach their educational goal. And what they found was that all students without an educational plan actually persisted less at the college. So probably not a huge surprise, but interesting to confirm that. Also, that all students persist more with a long-term education plan. There's a couple different types. One you do right when you come in, and then one when you plan out your entire education at the JC. If you have that longer-term plan, you're gonna reach your goals more likely to reach them. And it's interesting that there were actually no significant disparities between part-time students and full-time students when you looked at those who completed long-term educational plans. So they end up coming with this recommendation that we really focus on part-time students connecting with counseling and doing these long-term ed plans. So one very specific recommendation that came out of this work.
Yeah, and so barriers to participation, we wanted to identify and remove barriers, right? One of the issues that we came, or the action teams came across was, how are students getting connected to the services, right? And what are the challenges in the students having that connection to these services, right? What's happening there? And what we start to realize is through the application process, we ask these questions up front. So the college is doing a good job at giving, at acknowledging and making students aware of these services up front. However, what happens after? And here's some of the findings, which was astonishing, right? Only 22% of the students receive the services after a year. So they indicate something on the application, but only 22% of those students actually engage with that service, right? Again, the DRD exception to this rule was 64%. And I think that just highlights that division doing an amazing job at reaching out to students, right? And they also came up with some great recommendations, right? That data is funneled directly to departments, right? I work for EOPS. We would love to know students who are interested in EOPS, and I think that was an amazing recommendation that we can start doing the follow-up. So programs and services can be responsible to reach out to these students, right? And then one application system that Matthew could probably talk a little bit more about, where we can actually identify and maybe send these program nudges, right? And thinking about how do we connect to students early, right? Early and often, and they have a personalized communication from these programs.
Absolutely, and we're definitely working on those projects and within student services, how to connect students more directly to services. The final group, the third group, was looking at remote instruction and what impact this remote learning has had on our students and their success rates, and especially students who are experiencing disproportionate impact. And so in this inquiry, they ended up looking at the drop survey. We do a survey of all students who drop courses and ask them questions. They categorize the responses into these different categories of, were there factors of resources involved, environmental factors of the student's environment, were there physical or psychological factors, or was it the format of courses? So they looked at these different categories, and what they found was there was actually no disproportionate impact between groups, but that physical and psychological health was actually the most common factor, and probably not a surprise during the pandemic. We all struggled a bit emotionally and psychologically. So the recommendation was to really focus in on faculty knowing the resources and services and support that we offer and refer them from the class, because that's where the significant contact with students comes, and that we would embed some kind of support services within Canvas, our learning resource management tool, so instructors could more directly refer students to our services and our supports.
So we wrapped up probably a year's worth of information and trying to do this within the time that we were allotted. But we are welcome to questions, and you can definitely reach out to Matthew or I, and at whenever you need to. We're ready to ask questions, engage, and moving this work to the college, right, and making them making it part of our system. That we continue to be student-centered, but we look at it through these three lenses that we presented today.
Okay, thank you. It looks like we have a comment or a question from Trustee Fishman.
Yeah, hi, great presentation. I was just wondering, are all these services provided at all sites, Or is it just mainly maybe Petaluma and Santa Rosa? I mean, do these services extend to Southwest or maybe even public safety? I don't know. I was just wondering what the scope was.
Yeah, that's a great question, Maggie. Yeah, I mean, I would say the majority of services are offered at all sites. I think there are a few, for instance, let's say our success teams, right? They are mostly centered at the 2 campuses. However, they actually encompass all the students. And so all the students are in somebody's cohort somewhere and they do the outreach to them while the office may not be specifically located at that location. I would say we are, Hector has brought up a couple of times talking more about we have focused majorly on our credit bearing students. And that there definitely bears some more work on non-credit students, and especially I think we're all focusing more on non-credit students and expanding the pipeline for non-credit students into credit programs and encouraging them to move on with their education after they've completed some kind of non-credit certificate and such. And honestly, Hector's done amazing, and his team has done amazing work on that piece of it. And I think we will continue to focus on how that occurs. But you're right to ask the question. And I think counseling in particular, I think the remote options, that's one that we studied pretty heavily, was the use of counseling. The remote options have actually opened up a lot of that access to students from every location. And I think that's something that we will continue as we even move back onto campus. We'll be having a section of our offerings for remote access that I think will continue to increase that access for folks, knowing that we still have to work on access for laptops and hotspots and all that, but I know that we will continue that commitment.
Anybody else? Any of the other trustees? My only question, just because I'm involved in a statewide group that's looking more at how to better serve student parents, and I just wondered, was that kind of like one of the disproportionate impact groups that you looked at or tried to figure out?
That's a great topic, Trustee Battenfeld. I would say we look at age groups, so that would be one way of doing it, but not specifically at parents, although childcare has come up, and you'll hear our wonderful SGA president talk a lot about childcare as something we have not fully addressed for our students, and I would agree with her. That beyond a childcare center, which provides instruction and a great program for students, the idea of some kind of childcare option for students while they're going to class is something that we haven't quite figured out yet, although we have tried to attempt partnerships with the 4Cs and others that we are continuing to look at partnering with. But it's still something that we need to do. I think if you'll talk to Vice President Avila, we are looking now at kind of the reentry student and we used to do, I think, a lot more for the reentry student. And we are looking, I think, again, at sort of a reprise of how do we bring that kind of focus back on our reentry student, which I think would include this group of folks who have children. And so I think you'll see that coming in the next year or so, of this like refocus on the reentry student and how we support them. And I think the analysis on childcare and other issues that parents have while going to school will come in. I think the other thing is we're working on our schedule, and offering a really good schedule for working students is something that I know I've been researching and really interested in. What kind of programmatic offering can we have that's predictable and works with students who might have lots of other commitments in their life. So I think there's lots still to be done, but I am heartened by the fact that we're looking at all these issues right now, right? That we are laser focused on how we support our students in ways that maybe we haven't been able to or haven't done in the past.
Thank you. Anybody else? Great. Well, thanks to both of you for that presentation. It was really informative.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. Now, our next information item, we have several first readings and of board policies. And just a reminder that the first readings, these are the times when it is appropriate if board members have comments or questions to raise them now. When they come back as a second reading, they will be on the consent agenda. So starting with C2, this is a first reading revision to board policy 4020, program and curriculum development. Do we have any comments, questions? All right. C3, first reading, new board policy 4040, library and learning support services. Any board member comments or questions? All right. And then C4, first reading of board policy 5130. Yes.
Dorothy, if Caroline had a question.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I missed you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It's okay, President Battenfeld. I should have used the hand raise thing. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I just had a really quick question on board policy 4040, the new one. And it just really, as I read through it, I just wanted to make sure I understand it's new and that's something that we didn't have before. So except for the adoption of the policy, does the board need to have any further involvement after that? We just approve this, and I don't know if this is a question for you or for whoever, who I guess whoever's bringing this forward, I guess. And that was my question.
My understanding is no. We're adopting it as a policy. And then because the board adopts the policies, but then procedures to implement the policy will also be developed and probably brought forward to us for information items, but we don't actually have to pass the procedures.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Yes, that's exactly what I wanted to be clear on. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right. So this is the overall policy, but not the how we're going to get it all done part. That's coming, I assume. Okay. All right, so back to first reading of board policy 5130, financial aid. Any questions or comments about this one? All right, and then the next one, C5, it's called a first reading, but that's actually an error because it's a board procedure. So it's actually just an information item. As I explained earlier, this is a board procedure for implementing a policy. So this is just revision to board procedure 4.3.2, equivalency of faculty qualifications, and administrative procedure 7211.1, faculty equivalency procedures. And again, any board member comments or questions on that one? And then C6 is revision to administrative procedure 4102, career and technical education programs. Again, any comments or questions? And then C7, administrative procedure 5130, financial aid. And again, as you'll see, that's the procedure that goes with the earlier policy that we had the first reading on. So, and again, any comments or questions? Okay, that finishes the information. And next on the agenda is, because we've been in our meeting for 2 hours, so we're going to take a quick 10-minute break. And so get back, take a quick break, and I'll see everybody in 10 minutes, and then we'll move on to the consent agenda. Thanks. Welcome back to our meeting. Moving on to, I see everybody is here. Great. Okay. Moving on to our consent agenda. I need a motion, unless, first of all, does anybody want to pull anything from the consent agenda? No. All right. Well, then I do need a a motion to approve consent agenda items 1 through 19.
Move for approval of consent agenda items 1 through 19.
Second.
Thank you. Okay, roll call vote.
Student trustee Cole, trustee Banuelos,
Aye.
trustee Fishman,
Aye.
trustee Kundy,
Aye.
trustee Lindley,
Aye.
trustee Martinez, trustee Valdovinos,
Aye.
trustee Battenfeld.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, now moving on to the action agenda, starting with F1, personnel actions for April 12th, 2022. I need a motion and a second.
Move for approval.
Second.
Okay, do I have any public comments on this? Okay, I don't see any board member comments or questions. No. All right, then we'll do a roll call vote.
Student trustee Cole,
Yes.
trustee Banuelos,
Aye.
trustee Fishman,
Aye.
trustee Kundy,
Aye.
trustee Lindley,
Aye.
trustee Valdovinos,
Aye.
trustee Battenfeld.
Aye, thank you. All right, then moving on to F2, February 11th, 2022 to March 17th, 2022 warrants. I need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
All right, thank you. Any public comments? Don't see any board member comments or questions. Okay, roll call vote.
Student trustee Cole,
Aye.
trustee Banuelos,
Aye.
trustee Fishman,
Aye.
trustee Kundy,
Aye.
trustee Lindley,
Aye.
trustee Valdovinos,
Aye.
trustee Battenfeld.
Aye. All right. And then F3, resolution 8-22, changes to the adopted budget. I need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any public comment? All right, board member comments or questions? All right, roll call vote.
Student trustee Cole,
Aye.
trustee Banuelos,
Aye.
trustee Fishman,
Aye.
trustee Kundy,
Aye.
trustee Lindley,
Aye.
trustee Valdovinos,
Aye.
trustee Battenfeld.
Aye. All right, so F4, resolution 9-22, supporting United in Kindness resolution. I need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any public comment? We had one earlier. I don't see anybody else. Any board member comments or questions? Okay, roll call vote.
Student trustee Cole,
Aye.
trustee Banuelos,
Aye.
trustee Fishman,
Aye.
trustee Kundy,
Aye.
trustee Lindley,
Aye.
trustee Valdovinos,
Aye.
trustee Battenfeld.
Aye, thank you. Okay, thanks for good meeting. That concludes our meeting, and just as next week is Classified Professional Recognition Week, I think it's good that if we adjourn, again, honoring and thanking all our classified professionals for all they do for us. So Thank you. And thanks for the meeting, and meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.